Postcards. I'm going to talk about postcards real quick. Postcards, you have to be careful with postcards. If you're marketing to pre-foreclosure, if you're doing something where you're saying, and we had a big gavel for a pre-foreclosure. We had a designer. Where's Josh at? Josh is in the back doing the video. He's our graphics gentleman as well, professional. He had a gavel that was coming down that said, avoid foreclosure in big red with the gavel like smack. Right? We're like, that's a great idea. That's going to make them cause action. I have never got more hate phone calls in my life. They're like, do you realize that Johnny's been my postman for 7 years and now he thinks that I'm in foreclosure? They are not the only people that are going to see the postcard. So buyer beware, or sender beware. Because unless you want to, and if you got your mailbox, hopefully you got you're not putting your house address as your office. Anyone made that mistake? Yeah, stupid. I always say sweet 220, right? They come after me, they're going to be going to a mailbox and etc. going, where's Colin at? Not there, not the mailbox etc. with where my post office box is at, or my personal mailbox as they call it. So, marketing can be huge. Consistency, delegation with bandit signs, postcards. That's the way that I've been able to have success. With wholesaling, undoubtedly, one of the things that we really decided that we said we need to make sure that is we're going to implement it, and that is make sure that the phone is an excellent servant, but a horrible master. Anyone heard something like that before? Right? Got it from the Bible, right? Something like that. You remember that? You've heard that before? All right. The phone is an excellent servant. And what I mean by that, and Lee, he brushed on that a little bit, and it's very, 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 very true, is that we've tried all different types of ways. There's 3 things that you can do, right? You can have it go to voicemail, where it's just a voicemail system. The second thing that you can do is have a voicemail or a messaging service where someone picks it up and they're just having 7,000 calls a shift. And the next thing you can do is that you can have it answer to your cell phone. I've tried all of them. I've had good things, bad things with all of them. What we found, and what I would completely 100% recommend, is to have a messaging machine where you have a live person that picks it up. And the reason why, and again, one of the things that I'm going to say too, is don't listen to me on any of this. Just hear me out. You might have found something that's better, that has worked for you. That's cool. I'm going to tell you what has worked for us with the thousands of seller phone calls that we've taken. Literally, I've kept every single one of my seller sheets. I probably have a stack this big. I was going to bring it, and I probably have a stack. I have no idea why I'm holding on to it. Does anyone else hold on to their seller calls just for posterity? Just for you do too as well? I don't know if it's like I'm going to show my kids it someday or something like that. Like, look, little Billy, look what Colin did. Yeah, I don't know. But I've kept them, and with all of these seller calls, when people call, I want to make sure that a human being, if they get an answering machine, most other folks that have their stuff in the paper are also getting an answering machine. And when I want to call somebody, if I need to call somebody, if I am bleeding on the ground and my arm is hanging off, I don't want an answering machine. I want a doctor, a professional that can be able to make sure that they know what's wrong with me and that can take care of it immediately. Right? These people are financially on the ground with their arm hanging off. They don't want to talk to an answering machine. They don't want to. Why don't I have it go to my cell phone? Same thing like bandit signs. I'll tell you what, and if anyone has been doing this and they've been doing it for a year or 2 years, the only thing worse than taking motivated seller phone calls is taking potential tenant buyer phone calls. Anyone had tenant buyer phone calls go to their cell phone? How fun is that, John?
Yeah, it's not fun at all.
It's not, yeah. You're like, now that I think about it, it's miserable. It is. It is. That's the only thing. With seller phone calls, instanttelemessagingusa.com. We have, Matt, how long did you spend looking for for places for us to use? We looked at every single one of them, went through every single plan, went through every single, does it go by minutes, does it go by call, what is their average time, all these different things. Instant Messaging USA has allowed us to be able to get a phone call, a person that's willing to answer 3 or 4 calls, or excuse me, 3 or 4 questions. They have a voicemail that leads it through, because we were getting two sources of leads. We were getting pre-foreclosure leads through our direct mail to the list pendants list for our short sales, but we were getting wholesale leads as well with our wholesales. So, and as you might have heard, I'm talking about this past tense because my focus right now is on real estate investor. I'm still partnering up and doing some wholesale deals and still doing the short sale deals. But the reason why I want to just give as much as I can is because why not? If I'm not going to be 100%, I don't need to be, Mr. Wholesale in Columbus, Ohio. Why not just give it back to some other folks? So Instant Telemessaging USA, it took us an entire day of working to be able to figure that out.